Okay, so we will start with our today's lecture. Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, so screen is visible to you all properly. Just reply so that I can also get the idea whether the screen is properly viewable and everything is going on smoothly. Yes. Okay. You can switch on your mic and then reply, because every time it is not possible to open the chat and check your responses over there for me. Okay, fine. So we will start with our third unit, that is levels of testing. So in this particular unit, we are going to cover the different levels of testing: proposal testing, requirement testing, design testing, code review, unit testing, module testing, integration testing, big bang testing, and sandwich testing. Okay, so whatever the basics about the testing are there, like what is exactly unit testing, module testing, integration, and those primary levels of testing we are going to cover in this particular unit. So this chapter is also very important. So this is the syllabus part of this unit. Then coming to the next. So about title of the chapter. So as we know, the levels of testing is what finding out the number of defects present in your software, isn't it? So in that way, you will be going for the process of testing with different levels. And what are those levels? So as already been discussed in the syllabus, unit, module, integration, and in that way, different levels of testing we are going to study. So this is the meaning of the chapter or the unit over here: different levels, different and also on these levels what we are going to do. So those levels we are going to study in this particular chapter. Then about central idea of the chapter, why we are going for this particular unit is like, whatever the basic concepts are there related to testing, okay, how to start for the testing process, and all these things are covered in this chapter. So study of this chapter is very much important. If you are starting with testing of any of the software also, so at that time you must be familiar with these concepts, these basic concepts, and that's why the study of this chapter is very important. Then importance of the chapter in the syllabus. Yes, definitely, for going for the process of testing, your base should be clear, and that will be clear with the concepts which are covered in this particular unit. That's why the study of this particular chapter is very important. And chapter outcome, so at the end of this chapter, student will be able to, so almost for the first section, we are mostly focusing on first two COs, chapter outcomes over here. The first one is test the software to meet the quality objectives and requirements. That is the first CO. And second is apply testing skills to common testing tasks. That is the second CO. So how to test the software so that it can meet the quality objectives what are being designed from your organizations also. So that we are going to study under this chapter. What are the different requirements from your client that will be get satisfied after testing your software. So this particular CO will be satisfied in this unit. And also apply testing skills to common testing tasks, means whatever the different levels of testing we are going to study over here. So all those will be touched so that you will be able to apply your testing skills by using the knowledge of this particular unit. Okay, so clear with the basics with that about title, central idea, and all these things. So we can proceed further. So levels of testing. So to go with levels of testing, we are firstly required for so as we are seeing in the verification and validation kind of a testing approach earlier, testing is the life cycle activity which starts at the time of proposal and ends when the acceptance testing is completed and product is finally delivered to the customer. So your testing process, when it starts, so it starts with the time of proposal. Whenever your client is giving you the proposal that yes, I want this particular kind of a product, and go for it. And from that moment only till whenever you are going to deliver your product to your client, up to that level the process of testing is being carried out. So whenever it will be finally delivered to the customer, till that process it will be carried out. What? The testing. So different agencies, then the stakeholders are involved in conducting the specialized testing required for the specific application. So definition of these stakeholders, agencies, depending on the type of testing involved and levels of testing to be done at various stages, is enlisted here in this particular table, which is present on the slide. So we will check at each and every level of testing which different agencies are involved. Okay, so first of all, we are having here the proposal review. Okay, so what is there in this? So the different agencies involved in this are the customer. Why customer? Because customer has given the proposal to any particular organization, any particular company, that I want this particular product, and you are supposed to complete it, isn't it? So customer, definitely it will be involved in this activity. Then system analyst. Why system analyst? Because system analyst is the person who is giving his idea, his his knowledge on which particular language we are preferring, what particular domain we will be using, for this particular software also. Okay, so how this particular system will be working. Okay, so accordingly that system analyst person will be involved in this activity. Then business analyst is the person. So how much will be the business after going for this particular product. Okay, so suppose if you want to develop one particular application, that is mobile app. Okay, so what type of business you will be getting afterwards? So will it be used by number of customers? Will you be in a profit after launching this particular product? So that kind of a business analysis will be done from the business analyst people. And then the project manager is there. So to whomever you are giving your particular product for developing purpose, so that particular person, which is the manager, project manager, so that person will also be involved in these activities. So this is the first activity in testing, that is proposal review. And then after proposal testing will come. Proposal testing, so whatever the draft, the structure that is been presented from your customer to you, is it applicable? Is it going in a positive way? It is clearing all the ideas or not to your team, or your at least your project manager properly or not. So that all work will be done in proposal testing. So here again the agencies involved will be the customer, system analyst, business analyst, and project manager, who the persons which were same in the proposal review. What you did in the review? So review, you are just going through each and every step whether all the points that we have written in the review document that are correct or not. And in case of testing, you will be checking each and every word, each and every sentence written in your proposal is properly understood by the agencies, like project manager involved in this, system analyst involved in this or not. Whether it is cleared, all the ideas are clear to these people or not, that will be checked under your proposal testing. So in this way we are going to check whatever the different agencies involved in each and every activities over here. Then after we are having next type of testing, that is the requirement review. So requirement review, what are the different requirements? As we know it as a SRS document, software requirement specification document. So SRS document, it will be giving you the idea what are the different requirements are there from your client side. So here the agencies involved are definitely the customer. Why customer? Because his product is there. Okay, he wants this particular application to be launched. So that's why customer will be involved in this. Then project analyst, sorry, business analyst. So whatever the business is there, as already been discussed, what will be the pros and cons of related to that particular product, that will be checked over here. Then comes your system analyst, project manager. These four are as per the previous proposal testing. Whatever the agencies were there in proposal testing, those four will be same in case of requirement also. But here two more persons are added, and those are your project leader. Why project leader? Because project manager is present at the higher level. Okay, so you might be having idea that is no matter one particular company is there. Okay, so it is handling, say suppose 50 number of projects, different projects. So all for those 50 projects, say suppose for example we are having, say for 10 for 50 projects we are having 10 number of project managers in our company. So each and every project manager will be handling 5 different projects. Okay, no matter one more, one less, whatever the case is, we will just take the average of all these things. So each and every project manager is handling 5 different projects. Okay, so 5 different projects are given to 5 different teams. Okay, and that particular team is having one more leader, and that is nothing but the project leader. Okay, so this leader, project leader, will be having his own team, maybe of that team, if the as per the project size. Okay, so as per the project size, your teammates will be 10, 15, 20 or so. So okay, so that 10 number of people will be handled by the project leader. Okay, and under that, if suppose under that same project you are having your own testing team. Okay, so that will again be handled by separate person, separate test leader, who is having again team of say 5-6 people or so. Okay, so that particular team will be handled by your test leader. Fine. So if we consider our organization, then in that case, what we can say as, say suppose for example, the chairperson, that is our Runge sir, will be working as a project manager. Under one project, under one name as a SWERI, we are having 4 different colleges: degree engineering, diploma engineering, degree pharmacy, diploma pharmacy. Okay, so all these 4 colleges will be handled by again different principals. Okay, so in our case, the chairman and the principal of our college is the same. Okay, थोडीशी केस वेगळी ठेवा. सपोज इथे एखादा वेगळा पर्सन असेल, सर तो इन दॅट केस the principal will work as a project manager over here. Under him, we are having different departments. Okay, so like CSE, mechanical, electrical, and so for CSE department, it is having say a team of 20 or 25 people. Fine. So to give proper attention to all those team of 25 teachers, we are having one person called as a head of department, who is here as a project leader. And then after those all 20 people will be working their own task. So suppose for example here the testing team is the same as that of your uh, uh, or or the persons from these 20 people only. So you will have a group of 10 people under this. So these 10 people will be working as a developer, another 10 people will be working as the testers, and for those testers you will be having one person to guide them. Okay, to check the activities done from those people, and that person will be a test leader. So no matter, the test leader may be from the same company or from the same team, or he could be from different organizations. Suppose you are giving your product for testing purpose to some another organization. As we know, Mindtree company is working mostly for the testing purpose, isn't it? So suppose such kind of a companies are there, then uh, the testing that is been carried out from a particular team, So a person or a leader from that team will be responsible for this. So here the test leader will be from the development team or from the same development team or testing team. Okay, so these are the people involved or the agencies involved in the requirement review. Similarly, requirement testing, the same people as that of requirement review will be then repeated over here also. Okay, getting the concept? Then, so what type of activity you are doing under requirement testing? And okay, so that will be checked after this particular bit. So what exactly requirement testing, what different task you are doing under this requirement testing, that we are going to see in the next bit. Then next is a design review. Okay, after taking the requirements from the customer, what you are supposed to do is go for making the design of your project. Okay, so again here the agencies involved are your customer, business analyst, system analyst, which are the same as from the first step only. Then you need an architect. Why architect? Because the design task, whether it is done properly or not, so that will be checked from your architect only. Then again, project manager, as he is from the previous, that is requirement testing phase. Then again, project leader and test leader, these are the same from the previous step. And then comes your developer. Why developer come into the picture over here? So whatever design you did, whether it is executable or not, that you are going to check over here. Okay, executable means, suppose your architect has given some kind of a design which is not at all understood by the people from the development team, so it is of no use. So person from the development team should also be there. Why so? Because whatever the structure that he has drawn, okay, under the design of your product, so that should be understood by the developer team, so that, or the developer or the head of those development team, because otherwise he will not be able to explain the ideas present in that particular design to his team, isn't it? So that's why the developer is must person in case of a design review. Getting the concept? And then again the same design testing is there. So all these people who are present in the design review, all these will be present for the design testing also. Why so? Because whatever the design that is been drawn from the architect or any other person, is it satisfying all the requirements of your customer? Is it as per the business? Okay, is it properly executable in future, so that the developers are there? So all, each and every step will now be checked in this particular testing. That's why design testing, these 8 agencies will be involved over there. Then next is code review. Next is code review. Code review means exactly the process of coding that you are doing. So here again, the people like your project leader. Okay, why project leader? So to check the status of the project at each and every level, to have some meetings with your team. So how much how much product is now been ready out of 100% product? Suppose 30%, 40% is ready now. How to give deadlines to your team and all these things. So that's why your project leader will be there. Customer, yes, of course, because whenever you will go to the MNCs and check, so at that time you will be having weekly meetings with your customer. So this much of part of the software is now been ready. Okay, and whether with that particular part your customer is satisfied or not, so that will be checked. So that's why again customer will be involved in this particular stage. And definitely your project team means your development team. Why so? Because if any kind of lacuna is there, so at that time your customer will say, no, I want this kind of a GUI, I want this type of picture on this page, I want this kind of a output from this particular function. So that particular things should be understood to your project team, to your development team, developers team. So that's why the project team will come into picture over here. Then test artifact review. So this team artifacts, so whatever the just now I told you, different units, different modules which are ready now, so those will be tested and then it will be the task will be done from the agencies like project leader, then comes your project team, customer, tester, and test leader. So these are the agencies involved in this particular activity. Then unit testing. So unit testing, for this process, unit is the smallest part of your particular project. Okay, so unit by unit you will be completing your project. So that part you will be presenting to your customer. So that's why the project leader, your customer, and the project team, these are the agencies involved in this particular activity. Then after we are having module testing. Okay, so module testing, so different modules, number of different units or number of units are uh, if they are working on one particular task, then that is called as a module. So say number of units togetherly called as a module, we can say. Okay, so if your one particular module is ready, so that will be tested by the project leader, the project team, the tester, and the customer, whether that particular module is working correctly or not. So that will be checked. Then integration. So integration, that means suppose you are ready with say 3-4 modules, then suppose one module is dependent on another module, second module dependent on third module, in that way integration is there. So whether that particular integration is working properly or not, so that will be checked. So this task is carried out from the agencies like project leader, your project team, then tester, and the customer. Okay, then next is system testing. System testing, so if you are done with your product, okay, your final product is ready, your software is ready, now you are giving it to your customer. So overall, if you are working on that particular project, on that particular software, then the agencies involved will be the project manager. So as this product is now ready, you will be giving it to the testing team. So that's why the test leader will come into picture. Okay, because system testing is the task of testing team only. So testing, it can be carried out unit wise, module wise, integration and all. Okay, so the agencies involved here are mainly your test leader and the testers. Testers means whoever the team of testing is there, so that will be involved in this particular activity, and definitely the customer. Okay, and finally acceptance testing. Acceptance testing means what? Your final product is ready, now you are giving it to your customer. Now you are giving it to your customer, and then it will be accepted from your customer side. Okay, so at that time the agencies involved will be the project manager, then the tester who will be giving you the idea whether these particular units are working properly or not, and so on, and your end. Okay, now मध्येच काय झालं याला? Now is it okay? Screen is viewable to you all? So finally, we are looking into the acceptance testing. The agencies involved in this are project manager, the tester, and finally your user or the customer. Okay. Okay, so each and every type of testing that we are going to see now, that is first one is proposal testing. Screen is visible to you all properly, and am I audible to you? Just reply, no matter on chat. I lost the connection in between, so that's why asking you. Kind of internet problem is there. Okay. Fine. So now we'll start with the proposal testing. Each and every phases present at this particular level. So first is proposal testing. So proposal is what? Proposal is made to the customer on the basis of request for proposal, that is RFP. request for information, that is RFI, or request for quotation, RFQ, which is there by your customer. So these three fields are very important. So whenever you are giving any kind of proposal, what are the required documents over there? That is the request for proposal. Okay, so that is nothing but exactly the proposal what you want in that particular product. Then request for information. Information is whatever the basic information you will be giving to your development team or the people from that team also. And then request for quotation. So quotation means here the people who are present in that particular business, so they will be giving you the idea about how much will be the profit out of this particular project or so. So accordingly the quotation will be given, not only the profit, but if for that particular product, if you want some new like some kind of a hardware or software, so how much will be the cost for those. Okay, so accordingly the quotation you will be presenting to the customers, so that all the fields or all the things like how much money you will be investing in that, so that will come over here also. Also the green money that you're going to invest for that particular product. So green money is what? It is the investment by your organization. Yes, Gauri, any problem? So green money is what? That is the investment done from your organization to give proper training to the people present in your team, in your organization. Okay, so that is nothing but the green money. And if you are investing these kind of things, okay, new software, new hardware, training to your people, suppose these kind of things are involved in your particular project, okay, so that whole quotation will also come over there. So that is nothing but the request for quotation. So these three documents are necessary in case of a proposal. So before making any kind of a proposal, the supplier must understand. So before making any kind of proposal, the supplier must understand the purpose of such kind of a request and devise the proposal solution. Accordingly, one must understand the customer problem and possible solution to that particular problem. So any proposal prepared in response to such request is reviewed by the organization before sending it to the customer. So it is reviewed by different parties or different panels or groups in the organization, such as your technical group and commercial group, etc. So the intention is to ensure that the organization must be able to stand by its words if the proposal gets converted into contract. So suppose if we are having some kind of a proposal, like we are having MOUs, memorandum of understanding. So if you are going to sign that particular MOU or some kind of a contract, so whether all the things are satisfied, all the things are going on smoothly or not, so that will be checked. So that's why this kind of a testing will come into picture. So the organization must assess the impact of proposal on the organization as well as on the prospect and the customer. What will be the effect of this particular project on that particular organization as well as on the customer? So if you are satisfied with any kind of a project in future, so definitely there may be chances of getting more and more projects from that particular customer. Okay, so that kind of a contract will be there. But if in the first project only that organization gets failed to give proper output to the customer, then there is no question of next or forthcoming project to that particular organization. So for how much period this particular organization will be working for this customer, that kind of a contracts will also come in picture for this particular activity. So the activities involved in this particular proposal testing are nothing but your technical review. Technical review is what? Ki suppose it mainly involve the technical feasibility of the kind of a system application proposed, the availability and the requirement of skill set, the hardware or software and other requirements of the system. So just now I told you, in case of a request for quotation, so what kind of a technical data or the data which is technically required. So that is kind of suppose availability of skilled people. Suppose you are developing one particular project which is based on Python, for example, but you are having the team of Java developers. So definitely you need people who are skilled in Python. Okay, so you have to grab those particular people for this particular team. Or if it is not possible, not feasible, then what you have to do is you have to train your people from Python perspective. So that kind of a thing. Then again, the hardware and software support given by the present or the hardware and software, if any new hardware software is required, so it's requirement for the system that will be given over here. So the proposal is also reviewed on the basis of the time required for developing such kind of a system and the efforts required to meet the proposal, make this proposal successful. So definitely the time duration will be required under this. The technical proposal is the description of overall approach and not the final accepted approach, so or approach solution or the method, and many will undergo many iterations of the changes as per the discussion with the customer. Then the requirement and estimation at the stage of proposal are not very specific, but rather they are indicative. It works on the rough cut method, and estimations are the ballpark figures that prospect may expect. So this is the technical review. Then coming to the next part, that is the commercial review. I'm facing some kind of a internet connectivity problem. Okay. Whenever you will face any kind of a problem, I am not audible or so, that time just ping me. काय झालं? Just a minute, please. Okay, now whether the screen is visible? So now we were looking into the commercial review, isn't it? So commercial review. So the proposal will undergo financial feasibility and other types of feasibilities involved with respect to the business. So commercial review may stress on the gross margins of the project, and they will find the fund flow in terms of money going out and coming in the development organization. So this is coming under the commercial review. So generally total payment, generally the total payment is split into the installation depending upon the completion of some phases of the development activity. As different phases are completed, money is released at those instances only. So suppose for example, this may be the condition like after completion of 20% of the project, you will be released with 10% of the amount of the total software or so. So as per your word with customer, as per your contract, it will be come into the picture. So several iterations of proposal and scope changes may happen before all the parties involved in request for quotation and proposal agree on some terms and conditions for doing the particular project. So this is the commercial review for proposal testing. Then coming to the validation of proposal. So the proposal sometimes involve development of prototypes or proof of concept to explain the proposed approach to the problem of the customer. So one must define the approach of handling customer problems in the model or prototype. In case of product organization, the product development group along with the marketing and the sales functions decide about new release of the particular product. So this is the validation of proposal. Then coming to the next, that is the requirement testing. So before going for the requirement testing, if you have any kind of a doubt, you can ask. Any doubt? Yes, any doubt? No problem. Clear with each and every idea? Okay. Then we'll go with the next concept, that is nothing but the requirement testing. So the next phase is requirement testing. So what it will involve is, it involves the gathering of customer requirements and arranging them in a form to verify and validate them. So whatever the requirements are there from your customer, so those will be arranged in a proper format, proper way, and then it will be verified and validated. Okay, so the requirement may be categorized into different types, like technical requirements if it is there, then economical requirement if they are there, then legal, operational, system, etc. Okay, so what is technical? So technically what you may need in that particular project, that will be involved in this. Economical, uh, economical means the money involved in this. Suppose you are investing some green money, so that will also be considered over here. So that kind of a money, or just now I told you that, suppose for example, after completion of 20% of the project, if the company or the your customer is releasing 10% of the amount of final product, then according to that, means economical terminologies will also come here. Then again, legal is what? Suppose you are making any application which is like presenting some legal issues. Legal issues like, suppose for example, so for example, suppose you are doing some kind of a activity, business, and here you may need access of your Aadhaar card. Okay, so if you are giving the Aadhaar card number, then it will be checked, it will be validated. Okay, and how it will be? So through the application or through the website only, you will be diverted to your that something, that NDSL, ENDSL, something, that particular website, isn't it? So if you are going to that particular website, then that the authentication over there. So for example, I can give you like, suppose I am filling one particular form for the banking related activities. I want to open one, say SIP, systematic investment plan. Okay, so at that time, suppose I want to go for auto debit kind of activity. Okay, and auto debit from my bank account. Okay, just we can take this example from that particular bank account, and at that time it will check the validity of that particular bank account. Your KYC will also be checked over here. So while doing the KYC, if you are giving your Aadhaar card, not for KYC, but your Aadhaar card will be must over there, and they will be checking whether your Aadhaar card or your mobile number is linked with the bank, your Aadhaar card is linked with the bank or not. That will be checked. So at that time also, at one stage you will be diverted to the this Aadhaar wala website. So that is nothing but something NDSL. I don't remember, but something ENDSL and some e-signature, that kind of a KYC will be checked over there at that particular stage. So whether you are authorized person, at the time of filling the information, it will be giving you one OTP. If you are writing that particular OTP in the form, so whether you are forced by somebody else to put your OTP over there, so that all kind of things will be checked here. Accordingly, whenever you will be sent the OTP, at the same time you will be notified on your email also that from this particular website you were requested for the OTP. That kind of a structure or that kind of a notification on your email, if it is been sent. So all these kind of a legal things, whenever such kind of a risk is there in the application, whether it is satisfying all the legal activities properly or not, so that will be checked. So all this will come over here. So suppose if in case you are doing this kind of a project, so are you satisfying all those things, legal things properly or not, that here will be checked, and all those should come in your requirement documents. Then operational is the same one, like simple one, like what kind of operations involved at each stages. Then what will be the output, like that, those operations. And the system requirements, of course, suppose you want a particularly configured machine only for this particular software. If you are working on a high end, something called as a server side application you are doing, and for that purpose you need a system with high configuration. So at that time its requirements, so those also should come in your this requirement document. So similarly here, requirements may be specific, generic, present, future, future expressed, and implied. Okay, so those must be present now. You should be able to give them the requirements, whatever you have enlisted, those should be satisfiable. Otherwise you will be asking for some such system which is not in existence now. It will be coming or launching into the market after 6 months, and you want to use it now only, so it will be difficult. So which are present, generic, specific requirements are there, so those you are going to list them in this particular document. The customer may be unaware of many of these requirements, so the business analyst and system analyst must study the customer's line of business, problem and solution that the customer is looking for before arriving at these requirements. So implied or intended requirements is a gray area and may be a reason for many defects in the final product. The requirement testing makes sure that requirements defined in the requirement specification meet the following criteria. So in this, the first criteria is nothing but your clarity. So clarity, so all requirements must be very much clear in their meaning and what is expected from them to your team. So requirements must state very clearly what the expected results of each of the transaction is and who are the actors taking part in the transaction present over here. So anything which hampers the clarity of the requirement must be removed or clarified. Then again it should be complete. It should be complete. So requirement statements must be complete and must talk about all business aspects of the application under development. It must consider all the permutations and combinations possible when the application is used in production. Any assumption must be documented and approved by the customer. Then it should be measurable. It should be measurable. So requirements must be measurable in numeric terms as far as possible. Such definitions help us to understand whether the requirement has been met or not while testing the operations. So qualitative items like good, sufficient, and high, those must be avoided as different people may attach different kind of a meanings to their words, isn't it? So it should be measurable one. Then next is testable. So the requirements must help in creating the use cases, scenarios, which can be used for testing the application. So any requirement which cannot be tested must be drilled down further to understand what is to be achieved by implementing their requirements. Then it should be non-conflicting. Non-conflicting means these requirements must not conflict with each other. So there is a possibility of trade-offs between the quality factors which needs to be agreed by the customer. So if you are having some conflicting requirements, it will indicate the possible problems in the requirement collection process. The next is it should be identifiable. Okay, identifiable means the requirements must be distinctively identifiable. They must have numbers or some other ways which can help in creating the requirement traceability matrix. So indexing of the requirements is very much important. Indexing, why indexing is given, so which part you have to focus more, so that will be having higher value over there. Just 1 minute. Okay, so after this we are having validation of requirements. Validation means you will be checking the validity of whatever the requirements that are there in your documents. So requirement testing, it will involve the writing use cases using the requirement statement. No assumption is to be made while writing use cases from the requirement statements. So if complete use cases can be developed using the requirement statement, the requirement can be considered as a clear, complete, measurable, testable, not conflicting with each other. Okay, each assumption indicate the lacuna in the requirement statements. One has to ask the customer whether the assumptions are correct or not. So as per the feedback given by the customer, requirement statement given by the customer, the requirement statements must be updated. So this is the validation of requirement, validity of the requirement statements. Getting the concept? So coming to the next, so till this one, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Any problem? Yes, any problem in the requirement testing? Half an hour is remaining. Ask if you have any kind of doubts. Yes, Todkari, Aishwarya, do you have any problem? Bola. No problem. Shall I proceed further? Okay then. So next is next is our design testing. So whatever the design that is been made from the architects of your team, so that will be tested over here. So how you are going to test the design? So once the requirement statements satisfy all the characteristics of the requirement testing, the system architect starts with the system's high level architectural design. So the design must be traceable to the requirements. The work starts with building low level or detailed design with the help of architectural design. So here the design will be having whatever the different syntax you are using for designing. So according to that, you will be designing the system. So the design must also process some characteristics which are given over here, out of which the first is nothing but your clarity. Okay, clarity is what? The design must define all the functions, components, tables, then stored procedures if any, and reusable components very clearly. It must define any independence between different components and the inputs or outputs from each of the modules. It must cover the information to and from the application to the system. So all the small details should be covered under your particular design. How you will be presenting the tables to the customer, what will be the result of this particular stored procedure, how you will be giving this particular data to another module. So that way each and every terminology should be clarified in your design document. Then next is it should be complete. Complete is what? The design must be complete in all respects. Means it must define the parameters to be passed or received, the formats of the data handled, etc. So once the design is finalized, the programmers must do their work of implementing the designs mechanically, and system must be working properly or not. Then next is traceable. So the design must be traceable to the requirements. A second column of the requirement traceability matrix is the design column. The project manager must check if there is any requirement which does not have corresponding design or vice versa. It indicates the defect of traceability cannot be established completely. Then it should be implementable. Implementable is what? The design must be made in such a way that it can be implemented easily with selected technology and the system. If you are making the design just now, we have discussed about it in the requirement also, it should be implementable. डिझाईन डॉक्युमेंट मध्ये जरी तुम्ही काहीही केलं तरी त्याचा अर्थ असा नाही की ते इम्प्लिमेंटेबल असायलाच पाहिजे. जे काही तुम्ही तयार करताय त्याचं ऍक्च्युअल इम्प्लिमेंटेशन तुमच्या प्रोजेक्ट मध्ये दिसणं अपेक्षित आहे. सो इट शुड बी इम्प्लिमेंटेबल. द डिझाईन मस्ट बी मेड इन सच अ वे दॅट इट कॅन बी इम्प्लिमेंटेड easily with the selected technology and the system. It must guide the developers in coding and compiling the code. The design must include the interface requirements where different components are communicating with each other and other systems also. Then it must be testable. Testable is what? Testers make structural test cases on the basis of design. So thus the good design must help the testers in creating structural test cases. So what is structural test cases? So you will be concentrating on one particular module only, and suppose, and then for that unit, whatever will be the input data, whatever will be the output data, accordingly the stubs and the skeletons will be developed. So all the details related to that should be cleared in your design document. So suppose you have implemented one particular design for one particular module. So what will be the input data for that? Whatever will be the output data for that, it should be clear to your team as well as the testers teams also. Then coming towards the validation of testing. So design testing includes the creation of data flow diagrams. So DFDs, you might have gone through the DFDs in last semester, okay, while creating the report of your mini project. If not, you will be getting the idea about it now in this semester, or maybe you were having one subject, object oriented modeling and design, OOMD, last semester, I think. So those use case diagrams, their reference you will be using over here. So data flow diagrams, activity diagrams, then information flow diagrams, then state transition diagrams, to show that the information can flow through the system completely. So where the flow gets interrupted, it indicates that the design is not complete. Suppose in that flow, if we are getting some kind of a lacuna, that here your data is getting lost or it will not be used anywhere, that kind of effect, so you can say that the design is not complete. So flow of data and information in the system must complete the loop. Okay, it must consider the data definitions, attributes, and input output formats. Another way of testing the design is creating the prototypes from the design. Okay, so this is the validation of testing. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in design testing? If no, I will proceed further with code review. How to do the code review, what type of things you have to use now at this stage also, so that you can have a good project, and that can be good, not only good, but it will be a fulfilled project, complete project. जर तुम्हाला करायचं असेल तर नेमकं काय करावं लागेल. सो कोड रिव्ह्यू हा एक पॉइंट आहे त्याच्यामध्ये. सो व्हॉट इज दॅट एक्झॅक्टली दॅट वी आर गोइंग टू सी नाउ. So just want to ask once again, any doubt if you have? Okay, so code review. Code review is what exactly? So it include reviewing of the code files, databases, schema, classes, objects, their definitions, procedures, and methods. Okay. So it is applied to ensure that the design is implemented correctly. Okay. Code must have some following characteristics, and that are given over here. Code review, under that the first point is clarity. Clarity is what exactly in case of code. So your code must be written, your code must be written correctly, and it will be as per the coding standards and syntax requirements for the given platform. It must follow the standards and guidelines defined by the organization or the project or the customer, or as per the case may be. So it should satisfy all these things. It must declare variables, functions, and loops very clearly with proper comments. Code commenting must include which particular design part has been implemented, then the author, then the date, then the revision, revision number, etc. So that it can be traced to the requirements and the design also. Okay, so all these kind of a clarity should be there in your coding. Proper comment should be given, then what this particular function will be doing, what are the different variables you have used. So suppose the code is changed or revised at on this particular date, Why revised? Suppose some kind of a error is there in the or some kind of a defect is been found in case of a testing. Okay, so at that time you need to update that particular code. So which particular part of the code is been updated, on which date, by which author, all these things should be mentioned in that particular document. Why so? Because suppose for example, if that person left the organization, not organization, that particular company, then in that case whoever will be coming on his place, that in the first reading only your code should be easily understood to that particular new person. Okay, and that kind of a clarity should be there in your code. Secondly, it should be complete. Why? So whatever the code, class, procedure and methods, all those must be complete in all respects. It must suffice the purpose for which it is been created. Okay, so if you are writing one particular class, one particular procedure, method, so it should clearly mention the um, purpose for which it is been written. Okay, so one class doing multiple things or multiple objects created for the same purpose indicate the problem in design. So code must be readable and it should be compilable. Compilable means if I am putting some value, the code is in front of me and I am trying to put some values in it, and that at that reading time only I am just compiling that particular code. So it should be easier in that way also. Then uh, proper indenting and variable initialization must be followed as defined by the coding standards. Indentation you are already aware of. Okay, in the first year only, whenever you were writing your first program, hello world, in any of the language, so why the indentation is necessary is been told to you at that moment only. So you have to satisfy all the indentation rules also over here. Then comes, it should be traceable. So code must be traceable with the design components. It must declare the clarity about the requirements, design, author, date, etc. Code files having no traceability to the design can be considered as a redundant code which will never get executed even if the design is correct. Okay, so it should be traceable, and finally it should be maintainable. So that means code must be maintainable. Any developer with basic knowledge and training about the coding must be able to handle the code in future while maintaining or bug fixing it. Okay, so this is about the code review. So from this particular bit, we will be starting with actual testing and all those procedures. It's 11:10 for now. So I think we should stop over here, because from this bit only, we are starting with some another part of the unit. Okay, so with this, we are done with So here we are done with the basics, like whatever the levels of testing are there, whatever the agencies involved in these different levels, then the proposal testing, what is involved in this particular activity, then the requirement testing, design testing, and the code review. Okay, then we are having the unit module integration testing. All these three at least should be taken together so that you can get the idea properly, and then big bang testing and sandwich testing will be remained. So maybe in the next lecture we will cover these three first, and if as the next lecture is of 1 hour, and then the remaining two big bang and sandwich testing. Any doubt till now? If you have any kind of a doubt, you can ask. Any problem? Okay, so if you don't have any problem, we can stop now and put your attendance in the chat window. Thank you very much for today. Put your attendance in the chat and you can leave. Yes. ओंकार कुलकर्णी, प्रथमेश गुज्जलवार, गौरव वाघमारे, Tajmin Bhagwan, put your attendance and leave.